Hello and welcome to another TechVid. In our two-part series, I'll show you how to set up Google Workspace with Sophos Email. In this part, I'll continue on with the steps to configure outbound email routing. Part 1 covers the steps for configuring inbound email routing, and the link is in the video description. As a note before we start, Sophos Email has been configured in gateway mode. In addition, I'll use a third-party DNS to validate and configure any required records. I'll first show how to update your SPF records to prevent mail flow disruptions while transitioning to Sophos. Next, I'll show you how to configure your outbound routing settings. Then, I'll test the mail flow. And lastly, I'll finalize the SPF records in the DNS provider. Before you begin, you need licenses for each mailbox that will send and receive email. You also need super admin rights in both Sophos Central and Google Workspace. And if you manage your DNS records from a third party other than Google, you'll need the necessary permissions to edit DNS records. Lastly, it's critical that all mailboxes are synchronized in Sophos Email before configuring the outbound gateway relay. To facilitate the synchronization from Google Workspace, refer to our Google Directory Sync resource linked in the description. Let's get started. To configure outbound email, we recommend you edit the existing SPF record to include the Sophos SPF record for your region. This will prevent potential disruptions during the transition to Sophos. In this case, there's already an IP address being used to send emails, as well as the Google SPF record. Recipients will check that messages sent from your organization are using this IP or the Google SPF record. Update the record so that both the original IP, Google SPF, and the Sophos SPF record are included. This tells email servers that your domain is now sending messages from mail servers associated with both that IP, Google, and Sophos. To know which SPF record to use, refer to the SPF domains documentation. The link is in the description. In this case, the SPF record for my region looks like this. And the amended SPF record will look like this. Depending on your requirements, you can replace your existing SPF record or add to it. After testing outbound email flow, you return here to update the record again to only use the Sophos SPF record. Now, let's move on. In part 1, I configured inbound emails to be routed through Sophos Email, so now I'll do the same for outbound emails. First, find the outbound relay host for your Sophos Email account in Sophos Central. Go to General Settings, Domain Settings or Status, configure external dependencies. Open the Outbound Settings tab and copy the outbound relay host. Next, go to your Google Admin Console. In the menu, go to Apps, Google Workspace, Gmail, and scroll down to Routing. In the Organizational Units section, select the top-level organization. This is usually your domain. Edit the outbound gateway. Paste the outbound relay host address you copied earlier. Then click Save. At this point, outbound and inbound email should be routed through Sophos only. You can test that outbound email is flowing correctly by sending an outbound message to an external domain. In Sophos Central, you should be able to see this under My Products, Email Protection, Reports, Message History. And here, you can see the outbound message was delivered successfully. Since inbound emails were already routed via Sophos, any received messages will appear here too. Now that you confirm mail flow is working correctly, the last step is to edit the SPF record once again to only use the Sophos SPF record. To do this, return to the DNS Management Console and edit the SPF record. Since you'll only use Sophos email IPs to send outbound emails from now on, simply remove the portion of the record containing the original IP address and Google SPF. The final SPF record will look like this. Once again, note that you should use the Sophos data center for your region as shown before. Refer to the Sophos SPF domains documentation linked in the description for more information. You can replace your existing SPF record or add to it depending on your requirements. Make sure to keep any third-party services that send email on your behalf. Save your changes. Now, this tells email servers around the world that your domain is only sending messages from email servers associated with this SPF record. If you need to configure DKIM and DMARC for your organization, refer to the documentation linked in the video description. And now, your inbound and outbound email is being routed via Sophos Email. I hope you found this useful. Check out the documentation for this TechVid in the description. For further assistance, view and post questions on the Sophos community. And go to Sophos TechVids for more helpful videos like this one.